So the 97th Academy Awards are going to be here sooner than you think. What do I believe is going to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor? Hi, it's Brian. Welcome to the Awards Contender. It's time for my early Oscar prediction series to go into the acting categories. Let's start with Best Supporting Actor and Clarence Macklin in Sing Sing. I have finally watched Sing Sing. It never came to my town in theaters. Thankfully, I finally got access to a digital screener and I got to watch the movie. And I didn't think it was perfect. I found there to be some flaws in the second half. I thought the narrative at times is a little rushed, but it's a beautiful movie, so well done. And those two performances by Colman Domingo and Clarence Macklin are impeccable. They are fantastic, and I cannot imagine either one of those performances missing at the Oscars. I know A24 has kind of stumbled along the way when it comes to Sing Sing. The fact that this movie did not go all across the country, that they only put it out in 100 theaters or something, and then it never went wide, was a choice. I don't know what the thinking was behind that, because it is such a terrific film, and I feel like to be a major awards contender, it should have gone to more theaters overall at the end of the summer. So as of right now, I don't really know how Sing Sing is going to shake out at all the different awards ceremonies. I don't see this movie getting into one or two categories, but not Best Supporting Actor for Macklin. He has at least 2 or 3 scenes in this movie that are just extraordinary. He is so real and raw in this performance. And in some ways, I feel like if Sing Sing can win something this award season, it's Best Supporting Actor. I don't think it's going to be competitive to win Best Picture, Best Actor for Domingo, or Adapted Screenplay, but Best Supporting Actor is wide open right now. There's not a clear frontrunner to win, I'd say. So, if there is enough passion for Sing Sing this coming award season, and they want to give it something, I feel like Clarence Macklin is the obvious choice in Best Supporting Actor. As I thought was going to happen when I made that video with Oscar expert and Brother Bro, I didn't put Macklin in my 5 for Supporting Actor, basically because I hadn't seen the movie, and I was kind of disappointed with how it didn't make it to my town, many towns around the country. I was like, is A24 really dropping the ball on this project? Is it going to go anywhere this award season? I just think based on the quality of the film, and especially those 2 performances, I think it's going to get in. I think Macklin could win somewhere along the way. I do think he's going to get an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor. Now, I don't know if I would have him in first place. In a way, I think first place right now at the Oscars in this category is Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Guy Pearce is one of those phenomenal actors who's never really gotten his due come award season. He's been so great in so many movies like LA Confidential and The Count of Monte Cristo and Memento and just countless films throughout the decades. This is his moment. He's in just this groundbreaking, amazing movie, The Brutalist, and he's kind of the villain. It's a juicy, very juicy supporting role. And he's got many memorable moments, he's a big part of the end. And he's so great in a film that's going to be right at the top in contention to win Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor for Adrien Brody. I feel like this could be an Oppenheimer situation where we have Adrien Brody win Best Actor and Guy Pearce win Best Supporting Actor. Like last time when we had both Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. win for Oppenheimer, I think that could happen again. If there's enough love for The Brutalist beyond just picture, director, actor, if it can win elsewhere, I think supporting actor is going to make sense. We'll see how it does at like Golden Globes, Critics' Choice. They might go in a different direction with the next contender I'm going to talk about. This is not sewn up for Guy Pearce in any way, but at least I can feel good knowing Guy Pearce, after all of these years, is finally going to receive an Oscar nomination. Like, that is happening. He is totally 100% getting in. And then I would say the third person I'm feeling pretty good about, even though it is category fraud in a way. If you have seen A Real Pain, Kieran Culkin is the second male lead of that movie. He's in basically the whole thing. I feel like he should be in contention for lead actor, not supporting. But I guess because you can argue the real lead of the film is the Jesse Eisenberg character, and Kieran Culkin is kind of his sidekick, I guess you can say that, then he's going supporting. And of course, he has a better chance of getting into supporting actor versus lead actor, even though, as I'll talk about in my upcoming Best Actor early Oscar predictions video, there's room for Culkin there too. If he was going lead actor, I think he could get in to that 5th slot. Like, I think that would happen, but in supporting actor, it feels pretty guaranteed. Like, he is having a moment right now. He won an Emmy recently for Succession. He was so phenomenal in that show, and he is just a breath of fresh air. He is so funny, so delightful in A Real Pain. It was one of my favorite films I saw at Sundance, and the Kieran Culkin performance just blew me away. I mean, way back in January, I walked out of the theater and I thought, can Kieran Culkin get an Oscar nomination for that movie? I think he can. Like, if they put it out at the right time, they do a good job promoting the film, getting people to see it, and that seems to be happening. Like, I could see Kieran Culkin winning the Oscar for that performance. Like, if there's enough people who just go all in on that movie and want to give it a prize somewhere, that's where you reward the film, is supporting actor for Culkin. So along with MacLeod and Pearce, I do think Culkin is pretty safe in getting an Oscar nomination. It would also be his first nomination. Those are the three I'm feeling pretty good about. I'm pretty sure they're getting in, but then you get to slots 4 and 5. And there are tons of contenders. There are easily, I would say, 5 or 6 I could see getting into those last 2 slots. And we haven't seen everything from 2024 yet, right? It's only October. So there are some movies coming out in the next 2 months I feel like might have supporting actor contenders. We don't know everything yet. But I'm right now leaning to performances I haven't seen, which is a scary place to be because for most of the year, I thought Samuel L. Jackson would be the frontrunner to win the Oscar. To win, not just be nominated, to win the Oscar in Best Supporting Actor for The Piano Lesson. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, oh, he doesn't get much to do in this. And that was very sad to me. Like, Samuel L. Jackson is not even being nominated for that movie. He doesn't even stand a chance, I think. And so it is a dicey place to be when you haven't seen the films. Like, really confidently predicts those performances to get in at the Oscars. But that's where I'm leaning right now, and I'll get to those performances shortly. But let's first talk about some other contenders, starting with Conclave. In my video with Oscar expert and Brother Bro, I was predicting that Stanley Tucci would get an Oscar nomination in supporting actor for Conclave. I do feel like Stanley Tucci is a pretty safe prediction to make in a way. If anyone stumbles over the next few weeks, I feel like there's going to be enough love for Conclave, and there's of course tons of love for Stanley Tucci. that he could get in. Like, he's got a few memorable moments. He doesn't have like a really great scene. There's not a scene where I'm like, whoa, like give him the gold trophy, but he has more to do in the movie than John Lithgow, who I don't think is going to be a contender. And because I do think Conclave will get into Best Picture, Best Actor for Ralph Fiennes, probably Best Director for Edward Berger, I feel like it's going to be competitive in a ton of categories, might win Best Adapted Screenplay. Like, I think it can win that. So I feel like Stanley Tucci can make it into Best Supporting Actor. I've really had him like on the edge. I had him in 5th place. Now I have him in 6th place after now having seen Sing Sing. But I'm close, because one of the people I'm going to predict in this video, like, I'm really scratching my head about. I'm like, is that really going to happen? That might be a nothing burger. Like, that might not get any nominations all season. We shall see. But right now, I am not predicting that Stanley Tucci will get the Oscar nomination. Going back months and months, I thought for a short period of time that Austin Butler for Dune Part 2, like, could be a potential Oscar nominee. I mean, think Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. They like their villains sometimes at the Oscars. And Austin Butler in Dune Part 2 gives a very flashy performance. It is a physical transformation. He's very memorable in that. But I haven't really heard his name tossed around very much. I think Dune Part 2 is going to do very well at the Oscars, as I talk about in my new video for members only on the YouTube channel. Like, Dune Part 2 is going to be nominated everywhere, but I don't think it's going to get into the acting categories. Same with Challengers, one of my 5 favorite films of 2024. I would love Challengers to get 4, 5, 6 Oscar nominations. I think it deserves it. I think Josh O'Connor is fantastic in that movie, would make a great Oscar nominee in Best Supporting Actor. But I think outside of like film editing and original score, Challengers probably isn't going to do very well at the Oscars. Although I do think it might get in at like the Golden Globes for Zendaya, like might show up here and there. I just think because it came out last April, there's been just so many more films people have been talking about. I don't think Challengers gets into acting categories at the Oscars. Another one of my 5 favorite films of 2024 that I saw at the Toronto Film Festival is Baby Girl, and I think that movie has 2 performances that are worthy of getting into Best Supporting Actor. Harris Dickinson and Antonio Banderas. Both are incredible in that movie. I guess you could say Dickinson could go Best Lead Actor, but like there is no shot in hell for him in that category, and he is absent in certain sections of the movie. I do think both of those performances are supporting actor, same with Banderas, who has one moment toward the end of that film that just blew my mind. He was amazing in that scene, and he's very good throughout the movie. So if awards voters embrace Baby Girl beyond the Nicole Kidman performance, I feel like it should be at least somewhat competitive in supporting actor with either of those other 2 performances. But in a way, I feel like they might cancel each other out. And really, the focus for award season is probably just going to be Best Actress for Nicole Kidman. That makes sense to me. Like, I really want Kidman to get into the Oscars in Best Actress. That would be awesome. It is one of her best performances. Supporting actor for Dickinson, for Banderas, it's probably wishful thinking on my part. I don't think that's going to happen. Some other films I saw at TIFF, I've seen Ray Fisher's name show up on some lists in Best Supporting Actor for The Piano Lesson. I think if that movie can get 1 Oscar nomination, it's Danielle Deadwyler in Supporting Actress. That's all I think that movie can get at the end of the day. if there's like enough people really lifting up the piano lesson to get something somewhere, it would be Deadweiler. I don't think Ray Fisher can get into supporting actor. Same with Drew Starkey for Queer, which was a performance I was very excited to see at TIFF. But like, he's in a lot of the movie and he's good, but it's not a very memorable performance. He doesn't get one scene to really stand out from the crowd. I don't think that can happen either. Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice got some buzz throughout the year, but The Apprentice really crashed and burned at the box office recently. Like, I don't think that movie is going to be an awards player. I still have to see it, and I've heard great things about his performance. I feel like if it got in somewhere, it would be supporting actor for Jeremy Strong. Kind of like with Kieran Culkin, Succession has been such a big part of our lives, and both of those actors were so great in that series that there could be enough love for the man, the actor, Jeremy Strong, to like keep him in the conversation. Maybe he will show up somewhere in supporting actor for The Apprentice, but at the Oscars, that would shock me. I've been hearing great things about September 5th. I still don't know too much about that title. I haven't seen it, of course, but in that video I made with Oscar expert and brother Bro, they were telling me, like, that's kind of the sleeper right now. That could be an awards contender that might get into the Oscars. If one were to happen, I would say it's probably Peter Sarsgaard, because he has still never received an Oscar nomination, and he's done great work going back decades. A Sarsgaard Oscar nomination would be really cool. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, but I'm not seeing that right now. I've seen Brian Tyree Henry's name floated for The Fire Inside. That's a film that played at TIFF that somehow I missed. I wanted to see it, but it never like lined up with my schedule. I've heard really good things about Brian Tyree Henry's performance. If that movie can break out in November, December, can get into some early precursor ceremonies, like maybe he got kind of an unexpected Oscar nomination for Causeway in 2023. So I wouldn't count him out, although at this moment, I don't think that's going to happen. Willem Dafoe for Nosferatu would be so awesome, even though I haven't seen it. I have a feeling Willem Dafoe in that new Robert Eggers film coming out Christmas Day is going to be extraordinary. And I love the idea of him getting a second Oscar nomination for a Nosferatu related movie, because he was nominated in supporting actor for Shadow of the Vampire in early 2001. And he has had a really good year. He's in Beetlejuice and Kinds of Kindness and Saturday Night. And he's just like this workaholic who goes from movie to movie doing constantly good work for years, for decades. And I mean, he almost got nominated for Poor Things. I do think he was in 6th place. So if Nosferatu is just one of the great films of the year, and we want to recognize it somewhere at the Oscars early next year, the great Willem Dafoe would be an amazing choice, but it's a vampire movie. I think if that film gets into the Oscars, it'll be in technical categories, not in acting. And so finally, that takes me to slots 4 and 5, the two people I am right now predicting to get Oscar nominations for Best Supporting Actor. In slot 4, I would say it's Denzel Washington for Gladiator 2. Unless that movie just sucks, unless it comes out and it's a disaster, like everybody's giving it 1 star, 2 stars, 4 out of 10, like just nobody's really going for it. It performs kind of like how Napoleon did a year ago for Ridley Scott. If that happens, then I don't think Denzel Washington gets the Oscar nomination, isn't really competitive in Best Supporting Actor next year. But if the movie's good or great, I just think Academy voters adore Washington. He has so many Oscar nominations, and in Supporting Actor, which isn't overly competitive right now, I would say, I do think love for the man, even if the movie isn't one of the 10 best of the year, will get him into supporting actor. Based on the trailer I've seen, it looks to be a pretty fun, flashy performance from Washington. I see that. I think that's happening. And then slot number 5, I could give to Stanley Tucci for Conclave, but I am leaning right now toward Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. This is another film we haven't seen yet. It's coming out Christmas Day. Oscar expert and Brother Bro said that there was a test screening and that the movie did fine. It didn't do great, but that everybody really loved the Edward Norton performance. And again, based on the trailer, based on a little bit I've seen of him in that movie, that feels like it's going to be an Oscar nomination for Norton. It would be his 4th after Primal Fear, American History X, and Birdman. Academy members love him too, and even though the film is coming out pretty late at the end of December, it's not playing any festivals, that could maybe hurt him, I don't know. But I feel like there's enough adoration for Edward Norton. It's going to be a movie, I think, that's going to be well-liked, if not well-loved. And Timothée Chalamet is, of course, in contention for Best Actor. Why not Edward Norton in Best Supporting Actor? Like, he is one of my favorites. I have always loved Norton, going back to the 90s. And it feels like a performance that Academy members are going to enjoy. So I have him in my 5th place slots. I don't think he's going to be competitive to win. But right now, at this moment, I feel like sight unseen, having not, of course, watched either Gladiator 2 or A Complete Unknown, I feel like Washington and Norton have slightly better chances of getting in at the Oscars over Tucci for Conclave. That's the gut feeling I have right now, even though I still think Tucci has a solid chance. Like, he could still overtake one of these 5 men I'm predicting. Now, before I give you my list, there's one more name I want to talk about. One more performance that I loved this year. It's in what's probably going to be my favorite film of 2024. He's very young, and I don't think it's going to happen, but Mark Eidelstein in Anora is a riot. He is fantastic in that movie, and he is absent for certain stretches. It would be supporting actor, not lead actor, and just every time he is on screen, he is a total delight. He is hilarious. He is so fresh and fun. And it's just a wonderful performance I have not stopped thinking about since TIFF. And I don't think he can get an Oscar nomination for that. It would be such a wonderful surprise if it happened. I would love to see him recognized somewhere along the way. Maybe he gets like a BAFTA nomination, a Critics' Choice nomination. I guess he can be in like Best Young Actor or something, Best Breakthrough Performance maybe. I just want that performance to get its flowers because as much as I love Mikey Madison in that movie, that to me is the performance of the year. I want her to win the Oscar for Best Actress. Like, when it comes to acting in Anora, she is not the whole show. I also think Mark Eidelstein is amazing in Anora, and he should get some recognition as well. And now that takes me to my early predictions in Best Supporting Actor at the 97th Academy Awards. They are Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Clarence Macklin, Sing Sing, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Denzel Washington, Gladiator 2. Thanks so much for watching and subscribing, and let me know in the comments below who do you think is going to be nominated at the Oscars for Best Supporting Actor, and we'll see you next time at the Awards Contender.